I had $2 million when I retired at 55. Everyone said I was set for life. By the time I turned 70, I was stocking shelves at Walmart for $11.50 an hour. And I didn't do anything wrong. I just lived.
You know, when I turned 55,
Let me tell you what happened.
I thought I had it all figured out. I really did. I had $2 million in my retirement accounts, a paid-off house in the suburbs, and a plan. Everyone told me I was set for life. My financial advisor smiled and said, "You've done everything right." And I believed him. I remember the day I walked out of my office for the last time, March 15th, 2009. I'd been an engineer for 32 years, worked my way up, saved aggressively, lived below my means. I wasn't flashy. I drove a 10-year-old Honda. We took modest vacations, but we were comfortable. And now it was time to enjoy life. The first few years were, honestly, they were wonderful. My wife, Linda, and I traveled. We went to Italy, to New Zealand, to places we'd only dreamed about. We ate at nice restaurants. We helped our daughter with her wedding. We bought a small cabin in the mountains. Nothing extravagant, but nice. Life felt good. Life felt earned. But here's the thing nobody really tells you about retirement. It's long. It's really, really long. And life doesn't stop throwing things at you just because you've stopped working. The first real hit came in 2012. Linda started having back pain. We thought it was nothing, just getting older. But it wasn't nothing. 3 herniated discs. She needed surgery, good surgery, with a specialist. Our insurance covered some of it, but there were co-pays, out-of-pocket maximums, physical therapy that went on for months. Suddenly, we were spending $30,000, $40,000 we hadn't planned on. And that was just the beginning. In 2014, my mom had a stroke. She was 83. My dad had passed away 5 years earlier, and she was alone. She couldn't live by herself anymore, and, well, I'm an only child, so we moved her into an assisted living facility. A decent one, not fancy, but clean and safe. Do you know what that costs? $5,500 a month. That's $66,000 a year. Medicare doesn't cover that. Medicaid only kicks in after you've spent down almost everything. She lived there for 4 years before she passed. That's over $250,000. I'm not complaining. She was my mother. But I'm telling you this because when you're planning for retirement at 40 or 50, you're not thinking about these things. You're thinking about golf and grandchildren and beach houses. You're not thinking about your parents living into their late 80s and needing care. You're not thinking about your own body breaking down earlier than expected. By 2016, we'd spent about $400,000 more than we'd planned. But okay, I thought, we still have over $1.5 million. We're still fine. We just need to be more careful. Then the market got weird. I wasn't some day trader or anything, but I wasn't just sitting in bonds either. I had a balanced portfolio, 60% stocks, 40% bonds, like they recommend. But 2018 was rough. Then 2020 hit, and, well, you remember 2020. The market crashed. My portfolio dropped by 35% in about 6 weeks. Now, I knew not to panic. I'd been through downturns before. But here's what's different when you're retired. You're not contributing anymore. You're withdrawing. So when the market drops and you're still taking out money to live on, you're selling stocks at their lowest point. You're locking in those losses. And psychologically, it's terrifying. Every statement I opened felt like a punch in the gut. I held on, though. Didn't panic sell. The market recovered, mostly, but my portfolio never got back to where it was, because I'd been selling through the dip. Then, in 2021, our air conditioning system died. $11,000 to replace. 6 months later, the roof started leaking. $18,000 for a new roof. These aren't luxuries, these are just the costs of owning a home. A home I'd owned for 30 years. Our property taxes had gone up too. When we bought the house in 1991, we paid about $1,200 a year. By 2021, over $6,000 every year. Linda's health issues continued. She developed arthritis, more medications, more doctor visits. Then I started having problems, high blood pressure, cholesterol, pre-diabetes, more medications. Our healthcare costs were running about $1,500 a month, even with Medicare, and that's with supplemental insurance. And the regular costs of living, they just kept creeping up. Groceries, utilities, gas, insurance, everything cost more every single year. We weren't living extravagantly. We'd stopped traveling internationally. We ate out maybe once a week, somewhere casual. But money just kept flowing out. I ran the numbers in late 2022. I was 68 years old, Linda was 66, and our retirement savings had dropped to about $380,000, from $2 million to less than $400,000 in 13 years. I couldn't sleep. I'd lie awake at night doing math in my head over and over. If you kept withdrawing at our current rate, the money would be gone in maybe 8 years. I could live to 90. Linda's mom lived to 96. What then? We sold the cabin. That helped. Got about $90,000 for it, though we'd paid $120,000. The market had softened. We talked about selling the house, downsizing to something smaller, but we'd lived there for over 30 years. Our daughter grew up in that house. And honestly, smaller houses in our area weren't that much cheaper. After realtor fees and moving costs, we might save $100,000 maybe? That buys you what, 3 or 4 years? I started looking for work in early 2023. I was 69 years old. Do you know how hard it is to get hired at 69? I sent out dozens of applications, engineering firms, consulting companies, even part-time technical positions. Nothing. Not even interviews. One recruiter actually told me, off the record, that companies worry about older workers, healthcare costs, outdated skills, or cultural fit. That's code for you're too old. So I lowered my expectations. I applied at Home Depot, at Costco, at the grocery store. Walmart called me back. They needed overnight stockers, $11.50 an hour. I took it.
My first shift was April 3rd, 2023, 2 months before my 70th birthday. I work Tuesday through Saturday, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I unload trucks, stock shelves, organize inventory. My knees hurt, my back hurts. There's a 24-year-old kid who's technically my supervisor. He's nice enough, calls me sir, which somehow makes it worse. The other workers are mostly younger people working second jobs or folks like me who didn't save enough or had something go wrong. There's a guy named Robert, he's 73, worked in manufacturing for 40 years. His pension fund went bankrupt. There's Maria, she's 67. Her husband died young and his Social Security death benefit wasn't enough. We don't talk about it much, but we all know, we all understand. I bring home about $1,100 a month after taxes. With our Social Security, Linda gets about $1,400, I get about $2,200. We're covering our basic bills, barely. We're not touching the retirement savings anymore, except for emergencies, but we're not saving either. We're just existing. Linda cries sometimes, not because of the money really, but because she sees me leave for work at 9:30 at night, and I come home exhausted at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm 70 years old. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. And here's what I want you to understand. I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't gamble the money away. I didn't buy boats or sports cars. I didn't make risky investments. I just lived. I helped my family. I paid for healthcare. I maintained my home. Normal life happened, and it cost more than I'd planned for. The 4% rule? That's what they tell you, right? You can safely withdraw 4% of your savings each year. For me, that would have been $80,000 a year. Sounds like plenty, but that doesn't account for a decade of healthcare expenses. It doesn't account for your portfolio losing value at the exact wrong time. It doesn't account for inflation running higher than expected. It doesn't account for life. If I could go back and talk to 55-year-old me, here's what I'd say. Don't retire so early. I know you're tired. I know you've worked hard. But working even 5 more years would have made an enormous difference. That's 5 more years of contributions, 5 more years of compound growth, 5 fewer years of withdrawals. Plan for healthcare to cost way more than you think. We budgeted maybe $800 a month. Reality was closer to $1,500, sometimes $2,000. Keep your fixed costs as low as possible. The house, the property taxes, the maintenance, that all became an anchor. Have a backup plan. I never thought I'd need to work again. I should have kept my skills updated, maintained my professional network, something. And maybe most importantly, retirement isn't a finish line. It's not the end of financial responsibility. It's just a new phase, and it can last 30 or 40 years. Anything can happen in 30 years. I'm 71 now. I'll probably work until I'm 75, maybe longer if my body holds up. Then we'll see. Maybe the savings will stretch. Maybe it won't. We'll downsize eventually and probably move to a cheaper state, Arizona maybe, or Tennessee. I'm not telling you this story for sympathy. I'm telling you because I wish someone had told me. I wish I'd understood how vulnerable even $2 million can be. I wish I'd been more conservative, more careful, more realistic. I see young people at Walmart sometimes shopping at 2 in the morning, and I wonder if they see me stocking shelves and think anything. Do they wonder how I ended up here? Do they think I was irresponsible? Do they think it could never happen to them? I thought it could never happen to me, but life is long and it's expensive and it's unpredictable, and sometimes you do everything right and it still isn't enough. That's my story. That's what happened.